The psychology of people who see what others don't. You're at brunch. Your friend laughs a little too loud at her husband's joke. She reaches for her mimosa with the hand that doesn't have her wedding ring on it. And there it is, the tan line where the ring usually sits. She catches you looking. You smile. She smiles back. Conversation moves on. You don't. You'll think about that tan line for the next 72 hours. You'll wonder if you imagined it. You'll wonder if you should have said something. You won't. But you'll keep watching her. Every Sunday brunch. For the next year. Look. If you've ever known something was wrong before anyone said a word. If you've ever been called too much, too sensitive, or always reading into things. If you're the friend everyone calls in a crisis, but somehow no one calls just to say hi, stay with me for the next 8 minutes. This is part 1 of a 3-part series on the architecture of perception. Tonight, we're starting with the floor plan. What you have isn't a curse. It's the psychology of people who see what others miss. And it has an architecture, 3 rooms, including the one nobody warned you about, the one most of us get trapped in by our 30s. For most of your life, you've been told some version of the same story. You overthink. You read too much into things. You're too sensitive. Maybe a partner said it. Maybe your mother. Maybe you've started saying it to yourself at 2 a.m., replaying a 5-second look someone gave you in line at Trader Joe's. I want to offer you a different story. One that's actually backed by data. In 2003, researchers at Harvard and the University of Toronto published a study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. Lead author Shelley Carson and her team tested 182 students on something called latent inhibition, your brain's ability to filter out information it has already decided is irrelevant. Most people have very efficient filters. They walk into a room, and their brain quietly tosses 90% of what's there. You don't. The students with the highest creative achievement in the study were 7 times more likely to have low latent inhibition. Their filters were leakier. More information got through. They noticed the broken prop, the actor's nervous sweat, the way someone said "I'm fine" with their voice rising half a tone. This is the same wiring found in many of the world's best writers, designers, therapists, and yes, the friend in your group who always knows who's about to break up before they do. You're not too much. You're not overthinking. You're an architect of perception. Your mind was built to see structure where others see only surface. But here's what no one tells you about a mind built this way. It doesn't have 1 room. It has 3, and only one of them feels like home. Room 1. The reading room. This is the room with the floor-to-ceiling window. The one that opens onto everyone else. In here, people aren't mysteries. They're blueprints. You see the load-bearing walls of someone's personality, the cracks they're plastering over, the places where the foundation isn't matching what the marketing says. You're at your husband's work dinner. His colleague's wife laughs at every joke. A beat. Too late. She compliments your earrings twice. She doesn't touch her wine. Dessert hasn't even arrived, and you already know she's leaving him. You'll know it for 9 months before she actually does. I joke sometimes that I have a degree in everyone else's marriage. The diploma's on backwards, though, because here's the trick of this room. You see everything. You're allowed to say almost none of it. Room 2. The mirror room. Now this room should be the easy one. You read other people in 15 seconds. Surely you can read yourself. Here's the part that messed me up when I first learned the name for it. The Mittersfokup. Psychologists call this the introspective blind spot, and women who score high on emotional perceptiveness are some of the most likely to have it. The same energy you spend mapping everyone else's inner world, there's almost none left for your own. You knew your best friend needed you to call her before she texted. You knew your kid was anxious about Tuesday before he said a word. So why can't you tell me right now? Honestly, why you've cried in your car after school pickup 3 days in a row? You can read everyone except the woman looking back from the mirror. Room 3. The echo room. And then there's the 3rd room. The one nobody warned you about. This one has no windows. No mirrors. Just sound. Everything you hear in the reading room and everything you feel in the mirror room ends up here, and they start talking to each other. You sense your coworker is jealous of you. You also feel insecure about your own success. In the echo room, those 2 things start blending, and suddenly you have no idea what's hers and what's yours. This is what therapists call projective identification, a concept developed by psychoanalyst Melanie Klein almost a century ago. It's the place where intuition becomes paranoia, where I knew it and I'm imagining things live in the same sentence, and you can't tell which one is true. If you spend most of your week here, you're not crazy. You're just standing in the loudest room in your own house. Now, I have to tell you something that took me a long time to accept about myself. A lot of what we call intuition, the kind of seeing through that runs in some women's families, isn't a personality trait. It's a nervous system that learned, very early, that safety depended on accuracy. Trauma researchers like Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, author of The Body Keeps the Score, have spent decades documenting how children raised in emotionally unpredictable environments develop what's called hypervigilance, a nervous system locked in scan mode. The brain literally rewires to detect micro-shifts in tone, posture, expression. As adults, this looks like a superpower. It's also exhausting in a way that sleep doesn't fix. But here's the part I want you to hear clearly. This isn't a sad story. It's a story about why your nervous system loves you. So much, in fact, that it learned an entire language, just to keep you safe. That's not weakness, that's intelligence under pressure. And we have to talk about why this happens to women specifically, because nobody tells us this part. And frankly, that's been the problem. We're trained in ways men generally aren't to track other people's emotions as part of being good. Add an architect mind to that training, and you become the woman everyone calls in a crisis. The one who holds everyone's secrets and somehow has no one to hold hers. This is the loop I opened at the start. The thing nobody tells you about this kind of mind. You can recalibrate. You don't need to fix this mind. You need to learn to live in your own building instead of standing in the echo room every Tuesday. So ask yourself, honestly, how many hours this week did you spend reading other people? How many did you spend reading yourself? And how many were you stuck in the echo, unable to tell whose feelings were whose? Here's what I do every morning. It takes 3 minutes. And no, I'm not going to tell you to journal. I see you rolling your eyes. I call it the morning architecture check. Therapists who specialize in highly sensitive adults often recommend brief morning check-ins for one reason. They work. 3 minutes is enough to notice where your nervous system actually is, before the day swallows it. 3 questions. 1 for each room. Reading room. Is there anyone today I don't actually need to read? Mirror room. What am I feeling? Not them, not him, not her, me. Echo room. What emotion in my body right now doesn't actually belong to me? That's it. And the mantra I come back to on the days I forget. I see clearly. I don't carry everything I see. Quick note before you go. Nothing in this video replaces therapy, and if any of this hits somewhere tender, please talk to someone qualified. Naming a pattern is the start, not the cure. But if you've made it here, you aren't a problem to be fixed. You're an architect who forgot she designed the building she's been living in. Tonight, walk through it, slowly. Which room do you spend the most time in? Just write reading, mirror, or echo below. I want to see the breakdown. Next week, I'm walking you into the mirror room. What's actually waiting for you in there isn't what you think.